What's up, everybody? Kimberly Olson here, coming in live for a special Facebook Live interview with, even though it says Samantha, she goes by Sam Utupo. Did I say that right?
Yep.
Okay, good. I've been practicing. I was saying it wrong for like 6 months, but I'm so excited to have her on tonight. So we'll welcome her on. If you guys can do me a favor and give her some hearts and some likes, go ahead and put 1 in the comments if you're watching this live, put 2 if you're watching the replay. And if you're new and you've never seen her before or me, just put new in the comments. We'd love to connect with you and say hello. And if you share this out, you guys know sharing is caring. Go ahead and share this out. If you have any team pages, any groups that you run, if you have a lot of network marketers, entrepreneurs, even coaches that follow you, go ahead and share this out into your personal page or into those groups. Put shared in the comments. I want to see some comments rolling in to make sure that those are actually working. So go ahead and comment below and say hello to Sam. So welcome on. We're so excited to have you.
Thank you. I'm so excited. Thank you so much for inviting me on.
Yes, I'm so excited. So I met her because she was watching one of my Facebook Lives and then she messaged me. We were chatting about my product. So we first met by her becoming a customer, but I quickly realized that she was a freaking rock star. So I was finding a little bit about her experience. I saw pictures of her on stage with her company, and I was like, I've got to interview at some point because I love just learning from people like you that have done the do, and it's not just a year you've had success. You've been doing this for over 5 years. So to start, why don't you just share with my audience, because a lot of them don't know you, a little bit about yourself, what got you into network marketing, and where you're at today.
Awesome. Thank you so much. So I'm actually from the Gold Coast in Australia. And yeah, it's just been so awesome to be able to connect with Kimberly. But I guess to share a little bit about my journey, it started just over 5 years ago. It was in January, our 5-year anniversary. And I guess my husband and I, we were looking for something. So I'm a mum of 3. I have a 15-year-old, 12 and 11-year-old. And my husband actually was working in corporate education. So he had a great job, reached the top of the pay scale, but he couldn't earn any more money. And so we kind of like found ourselves, it's like a broken record when you hear so many stories, but we were financially struggling, living week to week, drowning in credit card debt, loads of goals, loads of dreams, but we had no idea how we were going to be able to achieve them. And so I was always open looking for something. I'd actually been doing party planning for about 3.5 years prior to joining my company. So I was open to being able to work from home or, doing what I needed to be able to do to be able to bring in some additional income. And then friends of ours introduced us to our products. So I actually said yes to the products to begin with. I wasn't actually interested in the business model of network marketing itself. And so I think, I had great results on the product and I was dragged along to our biggest company event of the year. And so the power of events, that's your first takeaway, power of events. I was dragged along to that event and that's where my eyes were really open just to see, there were everyday average people just like me who had been able to create extraordinary lives for themselves and for their families. And I wanted a piece of that too. So I remember leaving that event, going home and telling my husband, Carl, oh my gosh, life's about to change. I'm going to retire you from your job. We're going to get out of debt. We're going to pay the credit cards off. We're going to travel the world. And he was kind of like, okay, calm down. So I have to say that to begin with, it was just me first. So I started running the business for the first few months by myself. And my husband's always very supportive, no matter what crazy idea I ever come up with, because I've always had an entrepreneurial mindset, always been willing to give something a go. And then I got to work, like I really, really got to work. And within a few months, I matched my husband's income, which isn't typical.
Wow.
But when I got to work, like I was just plugged into everything and failing forward, making a million mistakes. And so after those first few months, that's when my husband took me serious and he decided to jump on board with me. And within 8 months, he was able to retire from his full-time job, which once again isn't typical, but it was because of the amount of discipline we had. We just had drive. I think we just saw the possibilities and we just went for it. So here I am 5 years later. Yeah.
And he does it with you?
Yeah. We build the business together.
That is so cool. That's awesome. I love that. Yeah, that's how we are too. Like I'm always just the free spirit, like has, and
Yeah.
it's helpful. It really is. And it's, I know some people who aren't that fortunate, they have that support, but I think sometimes too, you just need to move forward even without it because they don't quite understand like what you're
Yeah.
doing. You show them like, look at the money I'm making, or wow, we're able to pay off that credit card, and they start to believe, it was a slow process, but then he was like all in. He's like, whatever you want to do, I'm all about this. So that's really cool. So one of the things I wanted to ask you, because you've been doing it for so long, is I remember this book, Your First Year in Network Marketing, and they were talking about like that first 6 months or so. It's really hard, I think, for people to get past that. I think the attrition rate in our industry is pretty high, like people quit or switch companies. Do you remember that first year? I mean, you had great success, but I'm sure you had to have had some obstacles. How did you combat that, like with the self-development and having to have like a strong mindset?
It's funny because, it is not all rainbows and lollipops. I can tell you now. We have had the highest of highs and the lowest of lows. This industry, there's one word that I can say that determines whether you can make it in this industry, and you've got to have grit. So what actually happened in the first couple of years is we shot up very quickly. Within 14 months, we'd hit a multiple six-figure income.
Wow.
But we were going through phenomenal growth. Like we were on the back of like phenomenal growth with our company. So that was in our favor as well, which was awesome. So there was a whole lot of us. It was kind of like a bits and pieces business is how I can explain it. So we actually had nobody in our team that had done network marketing before. There was a bunch of us that were just super excited. We were just, someone was doing a bit of this, someone was doing a bit of that. And we got to the point where we then hit a plateau, probably at about the 3-year mark. Okay. And that knocked us for 6 because I was like, hang on a minute, what do you mean people don't stay? What do you mean people drop out and people go to other companies and it's not happening fast enough? And I thought that, okay, you build a team once and that's it. It's free sailing from there. So no, we for the first 3 years, we had a lot of success, and then we literally plateaued for 12 months. And wow. and that was a long time. And if there was any time that we wanted to quit, it would have been during those 12 months. Mm-hmm. But that's where the personal development kicked in, and it was the personal development that helped keep us afloat. But the other thing as well, Kimberly, because we realized that we got to where we had not really knowing much what to do, we had to realize that we had to reach out and find some mentors that had experience, so that could help keep us afloat almost. So we went and found a really powerful couple who were actually network marketers. They built a multiple 7-figure income in the network marketing industry, and they took us on as they were our mentors, and we learned the business strategy behind building a solid network marketing business. So I think that's another key is find somebody who has the success that you want, plug into them and learn from them. You can't figure it all out for yourself. In the beginning, we try to figure it out, but then we realized if we're in this for the long term, then you need to go out and find mentors and have people be able to help you get to where you want to be.
I love that. It's so true. And I think sometimes people think it's like an extra. It's kind of like taking care of yourself and spending the money on organic produce or whatever. Like they feel like it's an extra. And I really always say to them, you either pay the doctor or pay the farmer now or the doctor later. Like try to think of it as an investment. And it's the same thing with getting coaches or getting plugged into some kind of mastermind. Or I know you and I talked about having elevating the industry and really having that group of people to rely on, because because you built it with your husband, so I'm sure there was times where you could go to each other and be like, oh, this really sucks, and the other one's like, it's okay, we're going to get through it. But if you don't have that, and even some of the girls I talk to, they don't even have a good network of girlfriends close. I think finding your tribe is what I like to call it. Find your people where they're going to say, don't quit, like keep going. Here's some tools to help you and to push you through, because you do need that, because you can't go alone. Like you just can't, like it's just too challenging. So are there specific things you do now or that you really focused on to get your mindset strong? I mean, you obviously seem very driven naturally, but I feel like it's the school of hard knocks when it comes to self-development, being in direct sales. Do you have certain things you do every day to make sure your mindset stays strong?
100%. So to tell you the truth, I'd never read another book since I left high school, which was like 20 years ago, until I joined network marketing. And now I have like a whole library of books, and I read every day, but I also listen to at least one training podcast every day. And it's not always a company podcast. I love your training. I love the value that you give. I'm in your groups. And so, it's quite funny. I can't ever do my makeup and do my hair in the bathroom in the morning without listening to a podcast or a training.
Same. Or a shower even. I'm like, I got to wash my hair. I need to listen to it.
Yes. So, especially in the beginning, my car literally turned into a rolling university. So there was not one, the kids would jump in the car and they'd be like, oh, not again, millionaire mindset or, and I'm like, but now they're used to it. Yeah. Now they're used to it. But even when I'm doing car trips by myself, I'm learning every single day. I'm addicted to learning. 5 years in, as I said in my bio, I am the first person to tell you that I do not know it all. And things are ever changing and evolving in our industry. It's important to keep current and keep up to date with that, which is something that you do for us as well, Kimberly. Anything changes with the algorithms or, you're on it straight away and educating on it. And to be able to build a successful, solid business, you need to be plugged in. And mindset every single day is key. So, but one other thing that I do as part of my morning rituals, and I've actually got my book somewhere on my desk, is I have do my morning gratitude. So I start off with prayer, and then I also have my morning gratitudes, because when you're in a slump, which can be, and you're having no's thrown at you all the time, or, team members who you're trying to drag, it can be so exhausting. You have to remember what you're grateful for. So having the daily gratitudes is something that I've done, religiously, literally for the last 5 years.
That's so great. Actually, another leader and I were talking, because I'm at the beginning of building. So you remember when it was crazy and I'm right there. Yeah. And we were both saying how we were in so many three-way chats that it was like we were on our phone all the time. And I finally said to her, we were like, we would have wished for this 6 months ago. You know what I mean? Yes. You would have just, we didn't have it. And so now we did, and we're like, we're really complaining. Like, this is crazy. So I think it's important to, even if you have some people on your team that are challenging, it's important to give gratitude to having a roof over your head, and that this business can either give you some part-time income to go to Target and not apologize, or, pay a car payment or whatever. Or for us, it was like putting our kids back into sports, because we had to give that up when we were paying bills off. And that was the first thing I did when we became debt-free. I'm like, go ahead and sign them up for stuff, because it made me feel so good as a mom.
Yeah.
So to give gratitude for the little things, when you do it over and over again, it turns into the big things. And look at what you created for yourself. It's because you always come back to that every day. And I think that's really, really cool. So of course, people always ask me about prospecting. So since you've done this for so long, can we shift gears a little bit? When it comes to your posture, when it comes to prospecting and your posture, and I don't know if you've built primarily in person and you've done some prospecting on social media, so you can maybe share on that. What advice do you have for my people who are just not getting it? Like, something is just not clicking for them when it comes to recruiting. It sounds like you naturally did it because you were probably like with your hair on fire, like me kind of person. Yeah. Right? Like, I feel like I'm just like, I'm even like at my desk sometimes. But what advice would you give to those people who are kind of struggling a little bit with the prospecting?
Yeah, for sure. Well, and it's funny because I'm actually not a high enroller. I'm not a high recruiter. We've built our success by building a lot of depth in our business and helping people be able to really get the income that they desire. That's where the growth has come from our business. But awesome. when it comes to prospecting, it's all in the posture, 100%. And you know what it comes down to? It comes down to the belief. You have to have 100, and I think that's the first question to ask yourself is, where is your belief in the products? In your company products? Where is your belief in your company? Where is your belief in the industry? Because some people may have had an amazing product experience. They love their company, but they're so embarrassed about network marketing that they don't have that posture when speaking to someone about the business. And then where is your belief in yourself? So you identify where you're lacking belief in those areas, and that's where you need to go to work on. Because I tell you now that it's like if somebody in our team gets the price objection over and over and over again, I'm like, you don't believe in the price. So you have to work on your belief there. Otherwise, people can smell it a mile away. And also it comes down to posture. If you think about, if I cast my mind back to when I first started building my business in the beginning, I wasn't earning lots of money. I didn't have a massive team, but I had posture that I was. Never misled anybody, never misled anybody at all, but I had posture. And I could share stories of other people who had had phenomenal results on the products, even though I was only like 3 weeks in using the products. I could...
Right.
You know, it's borrowing other people's. Sometimes you also have to borrow other people's belief until you can gain your own as well. But I honestly feel that, and of course, you know, the connecting, you need to learn how to connect with people, but that's also a skill that you need to learn, and you need to practice that. But, you know, what's pretty cool is that we are part of such a forgiving industry. Like you know, for a low startup cost, for low risk, you get to step into an industry that will pay you an uncapped residual income, learn the skills, make the mistakes, and still get paid.
It's crazy.
You know?
Yeah. It's true. If you were at a normal job, they'd be like, we've got 10 people's resumes that you know what I mean? Like, it's just different. It's like Eric Worre says, you can earn while you learn, you know? And I think like your approach of always learning now, 5 years later, like I could tell just from the little bit that we've gotten to know each other, I feel like we're very similar. We're sponges, and we're always trying to just learn from others. And with having that attitude, if you go into it that way, that I'm going to just learn, I'm going to buckle down and implement what you're learning, then you can see that success. It might not be overnight, but if you hear her, you guys, and give her some hearts and likes. I can't really see that in the comments because we're doing Be Live right now, but I want to see some hearts and likes, what you're loving the most from her. Okay. So tell me about the depth. Okay. It's so funny you just say this, because a girl and I on my team, we were talking about some training she's taking elsewhere and she's learning. And she said, it really just blew my mind that how important it is with the depth of your team, because so we're like all about recruiting, and yeah, we have onboarding and things like that. But like the depth is crucial, because instead of turning around and trying to get 10 new people, you spend time with that one person and help them get their 10 people. Now you're truly communicating. So it sounds like that was really your forte, and probably still is. Can you talk about that?
Yeah, so especially, you know, in the first few years, as I told you, we really didn't know what we were doing. We were just like a running, motivated hot mess. We had no system. So we were working like 12-hour days. It was insane. And I just thought to myself, the first thing that our business mentors mentioned to us was, you need some kind of duplication system or platform for your team. Otherwise, you will never be able to step away from this business. And it's not as if and it's not that you're going to step away. It's that you want to be able to step back and work that, you know, the 4-hour day or 4-hour week. But you can only do that if you have a system that duplicates, and a system that your team can plug into. So what they taught us was, anything that you need to repeat more than once to a team member or to a customer must have a tool created for it. And so that's what we did. So we had a duplication system created for our team. So now, instead of me teaching what needs to be done, I direct them to the tool, but I'm just there to love, hold their hand, cheer them on. And I love that better than sounding like a broken record and repeating yourself over. That is how you actually build depth in your business. And the other reason why we were able to build depth is we really focused on what the business partners joining our team wanted. And we made it about them. And so your success will naturally come, as they say, from helping enough people get what they want.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think it reduces burnout too, because some of the things that can be frustrating is you're just like, I swear I just said that on that team call or whatever. Well, you know what you can do is, when that person goes ahead and asks, you can say, here, let me tag you on the team call. Because what we do is we want to teach and just be there for everybody and be all things to everyone. And that's a bottleneck process. You know, you can't be onboarding everybody in your downline. And I see that a lot with people, especially if it's a skill set of theirs. They're really good at training people. They need to create those systems. So I love that. That's awesome. So I always like to ask people who have experience that you've had, if you could go back 5 years ago to when you first started out, what's something you wish you would have known, or you would tell that 5 years ago person that you think would help them to go about their business maybe a little bit differently, or just give some insight?
Honestly, the number one thing would be having some kind of duplication system for your team. Because then there's no Chinese whisper. Everybody knows what they're doing. Everybody's able to leverage their time, because I think that I had the comment made to me once by a friend, in my first probably 6 months. She was like, "You're crazy. I can't do what you do and sacrifice the amount of time that you do with your kids." And that never left me. That thought never left me. But I knew that the work that I was putting in the first, few years was going to allow me to be able to step back and not work as hard. So I think, letting people know that, first of all, it's setting people up for success and giving them the expectations from the beginning, and letting them know that this is not a get rich quick scheme. And and there's a lot of hard work that goes into this. The work's easy. You just have to do a lot of it. But yeah, having some kind of system for your team to plug into. If I had that in the beginning, then I could have seen, but we're not supposed to know it all from the beginning, are we? When you're brand new at something, we're not. So I get excited when I hear from people that have said that they're in the industry for 15 years and it took them, 10 years to even be able to create their first 6-figure year. So, practice makes perfect. You only get better with more practice that you make. So.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's the thing to remember too, it's your journey, and you're going to learn this the way you're going to learn it. You can of course learn from people as much as you can, but it's going to be your path and it's going to be your journey. You don't need to compare. It's your story. It's not somebody else's journey and experience. It's yours. So where can people find you? If they want to follow you on Facebook or Instagram, where are you at?
Awesome. So on Instagram, it's Samantha Utupo, and on my Facebook, of course, which is Samantha Utupo as well.
Utupo. I love how you say it. Good thing I asked you. You would have been like,
I know.
Not even close.
I know. My kids are always like, "Oh, I hate it when my name's announced in assembly. They always announce it wrong all the time." But yeah. So sometimes we just take what we're given sometimes.
Yes, totally. It's memorable. Awesome. Well, I'm going to post in the comments. I think it's going to show up. If any of you guys want to jump into my ManyChat crash course, Anna Bearfield and I are doing it. It is February 27th, a week from Wednesday. We're going to teach you how to use ManyChat to grow your business. So talking about the different tools we were just talking about, there's things you can actually do. It's not about automating the process per se. It's about attracting high quality leads to you and creating ways to add value and offer content where people go, "I want to know more." So we're going to teach you how to do that step by step, because ManyChat is very overwhelming to people. So we have screenshots and videos, and we're going to go through the whole thing with you. Hold your hand, and then we're going to show you how to actually pre-qualify those leads. So you're not just reaching out to everybody and you have a system. Like she said, you want to have a system, and you'll also be able to get subscribers opting into you versus just leaving it up to Facebook. So you'll be able to have those people assigned to you in the messenger and all that. So if you guys want to get into that, just put, I just put the link there, but you in the comments, you can just put ManyChat and we'll tag you on that as well. Okay. All right, guys. Well, thanks for being on. Thanks, Sam. You're so awesome. We'll have to do this again for sure. And I'm sure everyone got a lot out of it. So thank you so much.
Awesome. Thank you for having me. Thanks.
You're so welcome. Bye, guys. Bye.